able to condense all of my loans under one account. I was able to lower my monthly payments and feel like I'm well on my way to becoming debt-free, and I have SoFi to thank for that.
With ServPro, our expert cleaning service helps reduce the spread of viral pathogens. Put the certified ServPro Clean Shield in your window and let your customers know that you're committed to a higher standard of clean. For a free quote, visit servpro.com.
Nice. This is the new Buick?
I think you mean the new Alexa.
It's a Buick.
It's an Alexa? Check it out. Alexa, turn on the outdoor lights.
Okay. That's cool, but I'm pretty sure it's a Buick.
Clearly an Alexa. Alexa, get directions to the 818 grill.
Getting directions. It's a Buick.
First ever Buick Encore GX. Available with Alexa built in.
Nice Buick.
It's an Alexa.
Now get nearly $3,300 purchase cash on the 2020 Encore GX. Ask Alexa, tell me about Buick SUVs.
Oh, morning sun, come our way.
There you go. Still warm.
This is the song of the day.
For some of us, our daily journey is a short one. Save 50% when you pay per mile with Allstate. Pay less when you drive less. You've never been in better hands. Allstate. Click or call for a quote today.
Arby's, 2 for $6. Every day. Chicken, beef, gyros. 2 of those things for just $6. Arby's, we have the meats.
Now, you can raise your credit scores instantly with
Experian Boost.
Download the app and try Experian Boost free.
Experian Boost.
Why is Old Dominion #1 in customer satisfaction? Maybe it's our over 99% on-time rate, or how we support the dynamic digital marketplace. Our people never stop working to make your shipping easier. Old Dominion, helping the world keep promises.
Want eyes that wow? Try Lumify eye drops. Lumify dramatically reduces redness to help eyes look whiter and brighter for up to 8 hours, so you can show off those baby blues, hazel hues, and beautiful browns. Lumify.
You won't believe your eyes.
Our great country is just waiting to be explored. Whatever road you take, make sure your tires are ready to get you there safely. Right now at Midas, buy 3 Cooper tires and get 1 free. Find your tires at Midas.com.
This is my body of proof. Proof I can fight moderate to severe rheumatoid arthritis.
Proof I can fight psoriatic arthritis. With Humira. Proof of less joint pain.
And clearer skin in PSA.
Humira targets and blocks a source of inflammation that contributes to joint pain and irreversible damage.
Humira can lower your ability to fight infections. Serious and sometimes fatal infections, including tuberculosis and cancers, including lymphoma, have happened, as have blood, liver, and nervous system problems, serious allergic reactions, and new or worsening heart failure. Tell your doctor if you've been to areas where certain fungal infections are common, and if you've had TB, hepatitis B, are prone to infections, or have flu-like symptoms or sores. Don't start Humira if you have an infection.
Humira is proven to help stop further joint damage.
Want more proof? Ask your rheumatologist about Humira citrate-free.
If you can't afford your medicine, AbbVie may be able to help.
SoFi literally changed my life. When I refinanced with SoFi, that allowed me to pay off aggressively and save without breaking my back or breaking the bank.
It's Saturday morning. That means it's Fox and Friends. That means Pete Hegseth is here, Jedediah Biela's here, and so am I, Will Kane. Good morning, Jedediah.
Good morning to you both. Now, that's the kind of music I like to wake up to. You guys notice I'm already dancing? This is some good stuff. How you guys doing this morning?
Doing well. Good morning. It is October 17th. It is also 17 days to the election. It also happens to be my favorite number, 17. Wow. Always has been. Chris Mullin. But it's 2.5 weeks to Election Day. And guys, I don't know about you. I was watching yesterday. Trump's talking. He's in Florida. And then I look and he's still talking. And then I went and did something else with the kids for like 2 hours. And then I looked up again and Trump was still talking. And now he was in Georgia. So it's going to be a pace that I don't think we've seen before.
No. President Trump always has the energy to keep that kind of pace, and we're going to keep the same kind of pace.
We will. We'll keep it up. We got it for you this morning. Thanks for being here with us. President Trump hitting the campaign trail in Florida and Georgia, as I mentioned, slamming the Bidens, calling them an organized crime family. Lucas Tomlinson joins us live from Washington with more as Fox News obtains more alleged Hunter Biden emails. Lucas, good morning.
Good morning, guys. The FBI is investigating whether these emails came from another Russian disinformation campaign to influence the election. As you mentioned yesterday, President Trump hitting the campaign trail in Florida and Georgia.
I'll bet you Hunter is a middleman. He's collecting. He's like a vacuum cleaner. He follows his father around collecting. Hunter made no money until his father became vice president. I'll tell you what, it's an organized crime family as far as I'm concerned. Lock him up. Can you imagine if my kids...
In 2014, Hunter Biden was struggling with a drug addiction and needed the income provided by the Ukrainian energy company Burisma, hoping to use his influence as the vice president's son. In a trove of emails, Rudy Giuliani says he obtained from an abandoned laptop at a repair shop in Delaware, given to him by the blind owner. One email says the Burisma advisor allegedly told Hunter, quote, "We urgently need your advice on how you could use your influence to convey a message, signal, etc., to stop what we consider to be politically motivated actions." In a tweet, Congressman Lee Zeldin says, quote, "The DOJ FBI needs to open a criminal investigation into the Biden family's global pay-to-play operation." Now, today, President Trump heads to the critical battleground states of Michigan and Wisconsin, states he narrowly won in 2016 by razor-thin margins and needs to win again if he's going to pull off another upset in about 2 weeks, guys.
All right, Lucas, thank you. I think there are two different aspects, two different avenues that you should think about this story. Number one is the content. Should it be important that the vice president's son potentially peddled influence to foreign countries? You should be able to make up your own mind on that. Understand the details, read the stories. But that brings us to the second angle. Will you get the information needed to make up your own mind about it? There's been a virtual media blackout. Of course, we know about social media at this point. Let me show you what kind of coverage the Hunter Biden story garnered over a couple days, in fact, 92-hour period. 10 minutes across mainstream media outlets of coverage over 92 hours. Joe Biden was eventually asked about this on Friday. He was asked by a CBS reporter about the New York Post story that broke the Hunter Biden news. Watch this.
I know you'd ask it. I have no response. It's another smear campaign. It's right up your alley. They're the questions you always ask.
Yeah, interesting response. And he's obviously made a political calculation there that he doesn't need to answer the question and feels that this is not going to be a topic on voters' minds and this is not going to be something that shifts the election. That's why he's doing that. You know, it's interesting with this story when it broke. It was bizarre to see two camps emerge. One camp decided immediately that the story was untrue and felt that they didn't need to do any research, ask any important questions, try to find out what was going on here. And then the other camp that I saw on the other side decided instantly that it was all true. And I'm looking for the people in the middle. I'm looking for the people in the center that see a story like this come out and say, it's our job to figure out what's going on here. This is information, obviously, if it is true, would be very damaging to the Biden administration, and voters would have a right to know. And if it's not true, we need to figure out what's going on and where this line of communication broke down, or what is this all not true? And the truth is we don't know, but I'm intrigued by the lack of intellectual curiosity on many to just find out. I don't understand where that has vanished to, where we see something emerge like this and we don't just instinctually say, all right, let's get to the bottom of it and figure this out so we can get voters the information they need in order to figure out who to vote for and whether this should be impactful or not. That's what's been most concerning, aside from the social media aspect, which we'll get to. That's a whole other bag of tricks in and of itself. But people should just be asking questions, and there's too few people asking those questions.
Jed, you mentioned that middle. Who's that middle supposed to be? The middle is supposed to be the media that's supposed to be looking for the information to validate this. Now, we've gotten recent information that many of these emails have been corroborated on the outside. We know they're authentic. And as a result, if you are the media and you realize the vice president, former vice president who wants to be the president, may have been part of or at least party to an influence peddling scheme based on his vulnerable younger son who was going to Ukraine and communist China and cutting deals, as President Trump said, like a vacuum cleaner behind his vice president dad, you'd think you would want to ask the questions. Of course, that middle and media is gone. We mentioned, Will, you mentioned that 10 minutes. 10 minutes is the length of this block at the beginning of our show. That's it. That's all it's been talked about. ABC did 0 minutes. CNN did 0 minutes. NBC did 45 seconds. So even if, provided we can confirm these emails are real, then this is a story you would want to dig into, and they won't even dig. And that's why Joe Biden says no response. Just another smear campaign, because he won't get serious follow-up questions, except for the debate coming up next week, where President Trump will have to do the questioning himself, and he can count on big tech to censor it all the way through. You know, still to this moment right now, the New York Post Twitter account is suspended unless they delete their own reporting. One of those reporters, one of those columnists at the New York Post is Miranda Devine. She talked about this Joe Biden scandal on Tucker. Listen.
Joe Biden was aware of his family's cash for influence scheme with shady companies overseas in China, Ukraine and elsewhere. But what we also know now is that he was actively participating in that scheme by having meetings that assisted his family's activities. Hunter Biden organised a meeting between Joe Biden and the number 3 guy at the corrupt energy company in Ukraine, Burisma, which was at that point paying Hunter Biden up to $83,000 a month for the 5 years that he was on that board. There is evidence that that this had an impact. It warped America's foreign policy. Joe Biden was a point man for Obama, for America. He went easy on China. China did well. America lost out, and the Biden family enriched themselves to the tune of millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah, you can't say it enough. The Trump family got rich and then went into politics. The Biden family went into politics so they could, and party to that, they got rich afterwards. So we mentioned the fact that the New York Post Twitter account is still suspended or blocked effectively. Well, big tech executives have been called to Washington on Wednesday. They'll be testifying about this censorship, which is just blatant, Will. I mean, but when it comes to Jack Dorsey and Zuckerberg and the CEO of Alphabet and Google, are we going to get any answers that are meaningful before Election Day?
I certainly hope so, Pete. You know, Jedediah mentioned 2 different camps. What I would say is this. When it comes to the actual content of these articles and whether or not influence peddling is an important issue for the American voter, perhaps that can be broken down into left and right. I don't know. But it should not break down into left and right on whether or not you get the information needed to make up your own mind. From mainstream media outlets unwilling to ask the question to tech companies actively suppressing this story, we should be terrified of those unwilling to give us the information to make up our own
Because it's not
minds.
a story if you don't see it.
That's absolutely. You won't know it exists. You won't know it exists. By the way, this is the FEC complaint filed by the Republican National Committee when it comes to these social media companies. As of this filing, Twitter's engaged in arguably the most brazen and unprecedented act of media suppression in this country's history, and it's doing so for the clear purpose of supporting the Biden campaign. Democrat media consultants can only dream of such abilities through its ad hoc partisan oppression of media critical of Biden. Twitter is making illegal corporate in-kind contributions as it provides unheard of media services for Joe Biden's campaign, Jedediah.
Yeah, I mean, it's getting very confusing for many people when they look at Twitter. What's flagged, what isn't, what's deemed unverifiable and hence shouldn't be disseminated versus what is. And it looks very political all the time. It looks like it's political and like it's going one way. That's an enormous problem, especially because, like it or not, this is how a lot of people get their news. I mean, this is where we are in 2020. People go to Twitter, they scroll through, and if they're unable to see stories, and we're in a world now where things don't get put out there and people have the right to decide and to become those citizen journalists and look into things, and journalists aren't going to do their job in large part, unfortunately, then it's a very scary situation, because how are voters then going to have the information they need to make an informed decision if they don't even have the information? So this is going to lead to many conversations, Pete, about potential regulation. I have some concerns about that, obviously, with big government involvement in this, but it's getting to a point where it's like, what do you do if you have these monopolies that dominate so much information and the dissemination or lack thereof of that information? Something has to clearly be done here, no?
Yes, I agree. And they're all run by leftists, and the slant is obvious. And if you want to pretend like you're just a medium, like the power company that just distributes, but you act like a publisher, your status will eventually change. People are onto that. But, you know, we talk about woke culture on this all the time. Who's in, who's out, who's credible, who isn't. Well, Dianne Feinstein's now on notice from the left because she hugged Lindsey Graham and because she was a party to the hearings of Amy Coney Barrett. If you watch this week, Amy Coney Barrett did a fantastic job. That hug right there, though, has infuriated the left, who felt like Dianne Feinstein gave the appearance of credibility to Amy Coney Barrett through her mere participation in the hearings. Now, we heard a lot about health care as a political matter in these hearings, not a lot about abortion, because ultimately Amy Coney Barrett handled it very well and talked about super precedent versus precedent. Well, you knew the pro-abortion groups were going to come out and be unsatisfied. And here's a tweet from NARAL, which is one of the most pro-abortion organizations in the country. They tweeted this. They said, "This is not normal. These hearings are not legitimate. Dianne Feinstein gave credibility to the process when the majority of Americans have been clear that they want to choose the next president, and the next president should fill the vacancy. The committee needs new leadership." So the left will going after Dianne Feinstein because she participated.
Because she was collegial.
Yes.
Because she was friendly with a colleague in the Senate. In fact, how upset are many on the left? Dianne Feinstein, who was mayor of San Francisco for quite some time, there's an effort to rename. Is it an elementary school, middle school,
yeah, it's
high
dangerous.
school? It's an elementary school in the San Francisco area, which is named after Dianne Feinstein. Now that school should not be named after her, according to many on the left. All right. Over to you, Jedi.
Yeah, and you know, I was so happy to see with these hearings that it didn't look like the Kavanaugh hearings. I think there was a lot of fear that it would go the way of personal attacks, and it didn't. It was very professionally done by members of the Senate on both sides.
Only because they had nothing. If they had anything, they would have gone more than Kavanaugh. They just didn't have anything.
I still think, though, the questions, when you looked at the questions about health care and abortion, I think it was handled very professionally. And this is a problem happening in our country now, is that when you are civil, when you reach across the aisle, when you make a point that your side doesn't like, there is a rush to say, get this person out of the way. And that's a problem. The whole reason that we're here is to talk about this stuff so we can fix problems. We have to have that expectation of ourselves, anyone who has a microphone, and we have to have that expectation of lawmakers. They have to be able to go in there and sit down and have these conversations about policy in particular, or nothing's going to get done. That's what we've been talking about with respect to the stimulus for so long, and these people around the country that need help. It's not going to happen if they don't do that, and that should be embraced across the board. It should be embraced in media, and it should be embraced everywhere. It's sad to see.
All right, well, we'll continue the discussion. More Fox and Friends on the other side.
Okay, Limu, you said it. Then as I spike it, I'll tell them how Liberty Mutual customizes car insurance, so they only pay for what they need. Got it? Did you get that? Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty. Hey, Lisa, let me help you with that.
You should look into shopping online at Chewy. You could get that big bag of dog food delivered to your door.
Check it out. We get all of our pets' food and toys. They even have prescriptions.
Don't forget about Tucker's new ride.
Get fast, free shipping with Chewy.
Re-entering data that employees could enter themselves? That's why I get up in the morning.
I have a secret method for remembering all my HR passwords.
My boss doesn't remember approving my time off. Let's just find that email.
The old way of doing business slows everyone down. With Paycom, employees enter and manage their own HR data in one easy-to-use software. Visit paycom.com for a free demo.
10 years ago, we founded Loan Depot because we were confident we could deliver the American dream of home ownership to individuals and families across the nation.
Serving more than 27,000 customers a month, lowering payments, providing jobs, and investing in neighborhoods and communities nationwide.
We know what it means to put down roots and bring dreams to life.
At Loan Depot, we know
home means everything.
Remember when this was one of your biggest worries? At Overstock, we have your next project covered with our amazing deals right at your fingertips. From home office and kids' desks to home decor and area rugs to creating your new favorite room outside. Plus, uncomplicated, free shipping on everything. Overstock, where quality costs less. Shop the Overstock Anniversary Sale, happening now.
When it comes to home fitness, one name is redefining it all: Echelon. Echelon's connected bikes, fitness mirrors, and rowing machines connect you to our world-class instructors who will motivate you with daily live and on-demand classes that are always available when you need them. Echelon is affordable for everyone, and right now, for a limited time, you can buy one piece of connected equipment and get a second piece for 25% off. Build your own gym with Echelon Fit. Go to echelonfit.com now.
Ready? We don't want to be late. Baby's name is Stephen Wright. It's Stephen with the PH. The address is 531 Sage Street. That's just next to City Hall. Where are my keys? My glasses? Head. Wait, how are you doing this? Focus Factor.
Focus Factor has been clinically shown to improve memory, concentration, and focus. It improves verbal learning and short-term memory by 44%. So get your Einstein on.
Yo! Wow, Dad's on it too.
Focus Factor. Feed your Einstein.
Well, as we've mentioned this morning, social media giants are facing a backlash for limiting access to the New York Post story about Hunter Biden. A member of Facebook's PR team tweeted, "While I will intentionally not link to the New York Post, I want to be clear that this story is eligible to be fact-checked by Facebook's third-party fact-checking partners. In the meantime, we are reducing its distribution on our platform." Our next guest says, if unreliable is the issue, why do social media sites like Facebook allow salacious anti-Trump stories to circulate on their platforms? New York Post columnist Sohrab Ahmari joins us now. Sohrab, thank you so much for being with us. Let's start with this. I believe when it comes to Twitter, is the New York Post still locked out of using their Twitter account?
Good morning and welcome to my living room. Yes, our at NY Post, which is our main newspaper Twitter account, is still locked because Twitter insists that we have to delete 6 tweets promoting our own reporting, which again, Mr. Biden had an opportunity last night to deny the substance of, and he didn't take the opportunity to do that. And it's stood up factual scrutiny. Yeah. But they insist that we delete our tweets, and so otherwise they will not allow us to post on Twitter.
What reasoning are they giving you currently? I know it's moved throughout the process of this entire story. There was an accusation that the story was unreliable. I think all the details, or many of the details, have been authenticated at this point, that it was derived from hacked material. What reasoning are you being given at this point?
So one of the reasonings that they put forward from the beginning was that this is hacked material, which is laughable. I mean, we recovered a laptop, so it's certainly not hacked material. And they said unauthorized release. Well, the Pentagon Papers wouldn't have been reported if social media were around in the 1970s, and President Trump's taxes weren't authorized for release. The whole point of journalism is you want to disclose things that powerful people, influential people don't want disclosed. So this is a ridiculous charge. But now they've changed the rules after the backlash, saying, okay, we will allow hacked material unless, which again, our story is not based on hacked material, but they're saying we will allow it unless it's the hacker himself or herself who posts it.
Right.
So they changed the rules, but they're saying, but those original tweets, our rules won't apply retroactively. So even though we've changed the rules, we're going to insist on you having to delete those earlier tweets.
Right. And that's the justification for asking you to delete those or requiring you to delete those tweets. Okay. So, Rob, thank you so much for explaining your current situation with your story, your information being suppressed on social media. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Coming up, she stole the show. The mystery nodding woman behind President Trump at Thursday's town hall. She joins us live next.
Ready? Set, go.
Go, boy, go! Go, boy, go! Go, boy, go! Go, boy, go! Get the car! Go some more!
Live big in the 3 larger-than-life SUVs from GMC. Step up to GMC and get $5,500 purchase allowance on most 2020 Acadia models. We are professional grade GMC.
When we started Carvana, they told us that selling cars 100% online wouldn't work. But we went to work, building an experience that lets you shop over 17,000 cars from home, creating a coast-to-coast network to deliver your car as soon as tomorrow, recruiting an army of customer advocates to make your experience incredible, and putting you in control of the whole thing with powerful technology. That's why we've become the nation's fastest-growing retailer, because our customers love it. See for yourself at Carvana.com.
Imagine being able to do whatever you want to do, whenever you want to do it. Sandals, more quality inclusions than any other resorts on the planet. Save up to 65%. Call 1-800-SANDALS.
Nail fungus is nasty. Only OptiNail starts improving the appearance of fungus-damaged toenails in just 2 days. Its clinically proven formula penetrates the nail for results you can see quickly. OptiNail. Give fungus-damaged toenails a makeover.
Let's go! You want results? You need a personal trainer in your home on your terms.
Hard work gets rewards.
A trainer that live controls your machine.
Everything you got right now, let's go!
To give you a truly interactive experience.
This is your reward.
Interactive personal training.
That future hit!
Only at NordicTrack.com.
As President Trump rallies in Wisconsin, Jesse has live coverage you don't want to miss. Then, the Hunter Biden bombshell with details emerging weeks before the election. Judge Jennings lineup reacts on justice.
Are you sick and tired of looking and feeling heavy? ProBioSlim promotes healthy digestion and helps you lose weight. Patented probiotics ease constipation, gas, and bloating, while powerful EGCG burns fat and calories. Unleash your potential with ProBioSlim, the #1 probiotic fat burner at Walmart.
Guys, are you tired of frequent nighttime bathroom trips? Well, Force Factor Prostate helps reduce urges to urinate, plus fully empty your bladder and promote a normal prostate size. Don't settle. Choose Force Factor Prostate from the #1 fastest growing men's health brand at Walmart.
If you've got a military, first responder, or law enforcement background, GovX.com is for you. Members save on Epic brands and the gear they need for on and off-duty lives. Signing up is fast, easy, and totally free. If you qualify, visit GovX.com.
Hey, I'm Wilmer Valderrama, and you probably know me as a pretty funny guy. But today I'm here to talk about a topic that's anything but. It's kidney disease. And 33% of American adults are at risk. In just a minute, you can find out if you're at risk for kidney disease too.
Welcome back. Couple of quick headlines for you this morning. A man pleads not guilty to attempted murder charges after he was caught on camera brutally attacking a police officer. Surveillance video shows Jose Guzman grabbing the cop's gun and repeatedly hitting him in the head with it inside an LA police station. Officers opened fire on Guzman as he took off running. It's unclear how Guzman got inside the station. He's held on $2 million bail. Wow. And Michigan sees a rare early snowfall this month for the third time in history. Snow flurries blanketed the state's upper and lower peninsula. Near whiteout conditions in the city of Marquette. The snow quickly melted due to warm temperatures, but in Wisconsin, people woke up to blizzard conditions yesterday. Forecasters predict up to 2 inches this weekend. Paging Rick Reichmuth. Jed, over to you.
Thanks, Pete. She was the unexpected star of Thursday night's NBC town hall with President Trump. The woman you see here nodding in the background as President Trump spoke. Here's what she had to say after the town hall when she had the chance to speak to the president.
I got your back. Yeah, you see, you are the best. You are the safer. I'm from Dominican Republic, but I'm American. I'm an American.
That woman, Myra Jolie, joins me now. She's a President Trump supporter, an immigration lawyer, and a former Florida congressional candidate. Myra, I gotta say, when I was watching, I was flipping back and forth between the town halls, and when I was looking at the Trump town hall, I kept seeing you, and I said, who is that doing that? You couldn't miss it. So what's it been like to be the subject of so many headlines since then?
Well, I'm not new to this because since I started supporting President Trump, I've been the subject of many things. I feel like I'm the Mona Lisa now, the mystery woman behind Donald Trump. She's been put there by somebody or somebody paying her. You are a disgrace for the race. Oh, we have all those beautiful love letters from all those fake liberal supporters. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, obviously some in media responded negatively, saying that you were seizing on a moment, that you went in there looking for a viral moment. Were you in any way planning to do that, or was that a spontaneous reaction to what the president was saying?
Absolutely not. I was there to support my president. I was there to support Donald Trump, and I could not stand silently seeing that vicious attack that had been done on the president. I would have done that sitting right here on my TV. I wouldn't break the TV, but I would be there just right behind the president. The same thing I did while I was there. God put me there for some reason. I was at that moment in which I wasn't doing it for me to be in the spotlight. I was doing it because I felt like that I had to have that guy back the same way he has America back. So we are supporting him 100%. And if I have to do it again, I will raise both my arms and I will applaud enthusiastically because I do know what is being behind, what is done in front of him, what is done to America. And that President Trump is the only one who can make it for us.
Yeah, you know, Myra, you have a really interesting background from the Dominican Republic. You're a former Democrat. You ran for Congress. You're an immigration attorney. And you've also met Joe Biden in the past. Can you speak to that a little bit?
Yes, absolutely. We were, my family and I, and my husband's family and I are very close to Walter Mondale, former vice president during Carter administration. There was a celebration of his accomplishment. And we were invited to it. It was a 2-day event in October 2015. And Joe Biden was there as a former vice president. And he was in the stage. He was a moderator. They were speaking. Joe Biden was really with it, very articulate, very conversational. It's not the Joe Biden of today. Joe Biden in 2015 was really a person, moreover, my husband and I were speaking with Joe Biden. My husband asked him, why are you running? He was, well, you know, like if he couldn't do it at that time. But today, he's not the same Joe Biden of that time. We met a lot of people in Congress during that celebration for Walter Mondale. And that's when it happened in Washington.
Well, Myra, we appreciate you being here. You are certainly a woman who stands up for what she believes in. I'm that kind of gal, too. When I agree with something, I got to applaud it. I got to give it a thumbs up. So I totally hear you on that. We appreciate you today. Thanks so much.
We have to understand President Trump is the only pro-life president. Our children are being attacked. Our babies are being attacked. If we don't defend the right to live, no right matter.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're unfortunately out of time today, but we appreciate your voice. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Coming up, fighting for Florida, President Trump predicting a red wave in the Sunshine State. Florida Congressman Greg Steube met with the president in Fort Myers yesterday and joins us live next. And before the presidential debate kicks off, enter for a free chance to win $50,000 from our friends at Fox Bet Super 6. Download the Fox Bet Super 6 app and play the presidential debate game. Pick 6 possible outcomes, then watch the debate on Fox News on Thursday to see how it all unfolds. Download the Fox Bet Super 6 app now to get started.
We made you. USAA insurance for this season, and the veterans that never quit on their team. When being a fan gets tough, and stretching your budget gets even tougher, our agents put in the time and legwork for you. So saving on auto insurance is easy. Because saving a little extra goes a long way. USAA, what you're made of, we're made for.
How often do you get a good night's sleep?
I'm tossing and turning, and I'm worried, and I have anxiety.
According to a major publication, lack of sleep can impair your memory and concentration, cause weight gain and depression.
I wake up in the morning and I feel so groggy.
Wouldn't you like to get the kind of deep, rejuvenating, uninterrupted slumber that leaves you feeling refreshed in the morning and ready to take on the day? Introducing safe, gentle, natural Relaxium Sleep. Developed by a renowned neurologist, Dr. Eric Celeberity, Relaxium is a true breakthrough in sleep science.
Relaxium Sleep has changed my life. It's a great natural alternative to anything that's out there, and it works.
Its triple action formula contains a proprietary blend of ingredients, which first regulates the natural sleep cycle, then relaxes the body, and finally calms the mind. In a double-blind, placebo-controlled clinical trial, Relaxium Sleep was proven to help you fall asleep 140% faster. You'll be 260% more likely to sleep through the night, 69% more refreshed and alert, and experience 80% improved concentration.
With Relaxium Sleep, I woke up alert with no after effects.
And it's 100% guaranteed to work. We're so confident that Relaxium will work for you that we're giving away 1,000 bottles today. You deserve a good night's sleep, so call now and try Relaxium Sleep risk-free for 30 days.
I work better, I'm more productive.
And if you call within the next 15 minutes, you'll also receive free expedited shipping on your order.
Thank God for Relaxium Sleep because it's truly changed my life.
To receive your risk-free 1-month supply of Relaxium Sleep and free expedited shipping, call 800-251-1717 or visit tryrelaxium.com.
That's 800-251-1717 or visit tryrelaxium.com. Fall asleep, stay asleep, wake refreshed with clinically proven Relaxium Sleep. Act now.
What if I sleep hot?
Or cold?
Introducing the new Sleep Number 360 smart bed, now temperature balancing, so you can sleep better together.
Can it help keep me asleep?
Absolutely. It intelligently senses your movements and automatically adjusts to keep you both effortlessly comfortable.
Can it help with snoring?
I've never heard snoring.
Exactly.
No problem. And done.
So you can really promise better sleep?
Not promise, prove. It's our weekend special. Save up to $1,000 on the new Sleep Number 360 smart bed and adjustable base. Plus 0% interest for 48 months. Ends Monday.
It's the season to add a little warmth to life out here. And though the past year has been an unexpected one, all 38,000 of us are ready to help you make the most of this fall with everything you need at everyday low prices. So you can take care of the ones who count on you. Prepare for those shorter days and cooler nights, and sit back and warm up to more family time. Prepare together, enjoy together, stronger together. Tractor Supply.
We have the vaccines getting ready to go. Seniors will be the first in line for the vaccine, and we will soon be ending this pandemic. Hasn't happened a thing like this since 1918, 1917. That was a bad one, too. That was a real bad one. I will not rest until we've eradicated this plague from our country and our lives and our world.
That was the president yesterday in Florida. Someone that was there with him is Representative Greg Steube, Republican from Florida, member of the House Judiciary Committee. Representative, thank you so much for being here this morning. You were there. The president in Florida, a lot of seniors there talking about how he wants to deliver free COVID-19 vaccines to that group. What's your take on how quickly that can happen?
Well, I think it's going to happen quickly, and I think it's great that he's focusing on seniors. My district's the second most elderly district in the country. We have a lot of elderly in Florida. The president made a comment and made sure everybody knew that he was a senior citizen and was in that class. He talked about protecting seniors with pre-existing conditions. He talked about what he's doing for telemedicine, and he talked about lowering the cost of prescription drugs, which is very important to that population, not just here in Florida, but across the country.
Congressman, if I might, I would like to pivot back to the story this week about social media, in particular Twitter, suppressing the New York Post story when it comes to Hunter Biden. It extended beyond just the New York Post. It ended up including as well the GOP Judiciary Committee, which linked to the story, and therefore has then had that account suppressed by Twitter as well. Many are now asking, should social media companies like Twitter and Facebook continue to receive government protection in the form of Section 230, which protects them from liability? Should they continue to receive that kind of protection from the government? In your estimation, should they?
Absolutely not. I'm working on a bill that would provide for a private cause of action against them for violating these type of issues and censoring conservative speech. Look, they get the protection under Section 230 simply because they're supposed to not be editing or publishing or censoring information. It's supposed to be a free platform for the exchange of free ideas under the First Amendment, and they are clearly violating that. They are clearly suppressing conservative speech. They obviously are suppressing articles that are hurting the Biden campaign. They shut down the press secretary of the President of the United States Twitter account. If that's not suppressing speech, I don't know what is. And if that's the way that they're going to act, they should lose that liability protection they have under the law.
Yeah, you know, Congressman, we're now seeing that the RNC has filed an FEC complaint against Twitter. But what's interesting that's emerged is also the political affiliations of donors and donations. Take a look at this. Twitter political donations, 98.9%. That's $347,270 to Democrats, 1.01%. That's just $3,556 to Republicans. And you see Facebook here as well. You have, 91.68% to Democrats, 8.32% to Republicans. So there's an obvious bias here. the question is, why is that impacting? I mean, we've seen this in academia, right? We've seen it in Hollywood when the vast majority of people believe it. We see it in journalism school when people emerge. But now this is a little bit different, Congressman, is it not? Because these are the people who are disseminating our news and deciding what people see and what they don't see. And that bears an even greater risk, in my opinion. What do you say to these donation numbers?
Well, and these are people that are hiding in a room that aren't out in the public space, suppressing what you're putting out on the public space and not allowing for the free information and expression of ideas. I mean, that just is evidence, exhibit number A, as it relates to showing the American people how biased these big tech companies are. I think a lot of Americans realize that they were biased in some way, but this shows overwhelmingly that they support Democrats and liberal causes, and that they're going to do everything they can to quietly behind the scenes suppress conservatives, conservative talk, and articles that are damaging to the Biden campaign and to Democrats.
Yeah, Congressman, that's why we shouldn't call them the mainstream media, because there's nothing mainstream about them at all.
Absolutely.
They're all left-wingers. When you look at the inside newsletters, political newsletters these days, they're all predicting doom and gloom for the president. What are you seeing on the ground in Florida as it compares to 2016?
I've been elected in Florida for 10 years, and I have never seen the type of groundswell of support that you see for our president. I drove from Sarasota. My district encompasses 9 counties. I drove from Sarasota down to Fort Myers yesterday for the event with the president. You see Trump flags everywhere. On the river as you went over into Fort Myers, you saw boats with Trump flags. There was a ton of people welcoming him that they knew they couldn't even get into the event. Standing outside welcoming him. You didn't see a single Biden supporter, a single Democrat waving a sign against him. Just a groundswell of support. And you see it in the new registration numbers in Florida. For the first time, Republicans are getting very close to the registration of Democrats in the state of Florida. We've registered 129,000 Republicans in Florida in just this last year leading up to the election. Those are great numbers for Republicans in the state of Florida. Those are great numbers for the president and bodes well here in November.
It's one of the most interesting questions over the next 3 weeks. Is there a silent majority out there ready to turn this election, or are the polls, as opposed to 2016, right in 2020? We'll be watching.
There definitely is a silent majority here in Florida.
All right. Thank you, Congressman. Appreciate your time this morning.
Yeah, good to see you guys.
All right. Turning now to your headlines. Terrifying video shows a man chasing an officer with a burning piece of wood before setting his cruiser on fire. Watch this.
Seattle police, stop, dude!
The man charges at the Seattle officer, throwing a burning piece of lumber into his cruiser. Then the cop opens fire while the suspect opens fire on the suspect while another officer used a taser. The suspect was arrested and charged with assault and arson. A Michigan appeals court overturns an extension for absentee ballots. The extension allowed ballots to be received 2 weeks after Election Day. The court ruling votes now need to be in by November 3rd, saying additional delivery options are available in the state to assist absentee voters. Now check this out. Perfect rescue. A bobcat is found roaming the aisles of a Dollar General store in eastern Kentucky. The sheriff sharing pictures of the kitty in a very bad mood. Look at all these puns. Someone else should read. Dave, get over here and read this. Here's another one. Deputies are perplexed to how it got inside. It was captured and released back into the wild.
I thought you delivered it well.
Thank you. And the WWE delivering some dramatic moments on Fox's SmackDown season premiere.
Reigns has a guillotine applied, a body scissor locked in, squeezing all the breath, stopping the blood flow. Strowman tapped!
Roman Reigns conquering Braun Strowman, keeping his Universal title belt. Wrestling legend Bill Goldberg was there sitting in the Thunderdome's virtual crowd. Meanwhile, The New Day winning their last match together after being separated in the WWE Draft. You can catch SmackDown every Friday on Fox. And those are your headlines.
There's a WWE Draft?
Well, I did that for Jedediah. We all got the note you're a big WWE fan, so we wanted to get that in this morning. Yes?
Listen, I'm still feeling a bit of a high from listening to you read the puns about the bobcat with the perfect. And all. That's the best. Oh, man. Whoever did that, they did it for me today. But nice job. I typically get to make fun of Pete for doing those, but it's nice to add you to the mix.
Thank you.
All right, we have a very special man on today. We have Adam Klotz, who's going to give us the latest on weather. Adam, welcome. Great to have you here as always.
Hey guys, good morning, and it's always great to be here. The forecast across the country, what are we talking about? A little bit of colder air settling in, particularly in the Midwest, feeling like winter as we're beginning to move a little bit later and later through the month of October. Here's our early morning temperatures falling down into the 30s in a whole lot of places. That's actually going to get us down to a freeze watch and warning across a good chunk of the country. So freeze watches, warnings from cities like Detroit, getting into Indianapolis, Louisville, up into Columbus and Cleveland. Again, these temperatures down at freezing or a little bit colder. We do warm up a little bit in the afternoon, but it's going to be rounds and rounds of some of this cold weather. So as a result, right on the leading edge of some of these rounds, this is getting up into the northern plains, running from today into early tomorrow morning. We're talking about snow. That's going to be running down into Omaha, across the plains, up into the Midwest. And again, tomorrow morning, folks are going to be waking up with temperatures down into the 20s. I don't know about you guys. As I toss it back, I'm not ready for winter, but it's beginning to look like it's just around the corner. Back out to you.
Not ready.
It is coming for sure. Adam, always special to us. All right, coming up, targeted by Antifa, a veteran-owned cafe in Portland damaged by rioters in recent protests. The reason? Appearing too unfriendly to Black Lives Matter movement. We talked to the owner, who is now voting for President Trump. That comes up next.
Inside your eye, there's an everyday battle against life's daily stressors like smartphones, sunlight, and screens. Just one Ocuvite eye vitamin a day replenishes key nutrients that help protect the health of your eyes. Take Ocuvite. Take care of your eyes.
Just because a car looks like a good deal online doesn't mean it is. That's why CarGurus looks deeper. Only 3 of 10 cars earn our highest ratings. So instead of wondering if a car is a deal, you'll know it is. Go to CarGurus today.
Are you tired of using towels you think are going to be amazing, but don't actually dry you? They just push water around on your skin.
Other towels seem to smear the water on your skin because of their coatings.
After I dry off, my skin is still wet.
You deserve a better towel. Introducing MyPillow Towels, the first towel that is guaranteed to dry you faster.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and I'm here to tell you about my new product from MyPillow. Towels that actually work. I've created the best towel ever where it actually feels soft but dries us. What a concept.
The new MyPillow towels are exclusively made with 100% USA combed cotton with proprietary technology and with maximum absorbency. They dry you faster and are guaranteed to work. Go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen right now. When you use the promo code on your screen, Mike will include a second full towel set absolutely free. That's 2 MyPillow towel sets for the price of 1.
Watch this demonstration. Here's another towel that we randomly went out and bought. Here's one of my towels with the nice design. Watch this absorbency test. I don't know if you can see this, but you could line a swimming pool with this. I mean, this is crazy. Get rid of it. Towels that actually work.
With the MyPillow towel, the first time I used it, I couldn't believe how quick my hair was dry.
I really love the towels. They're really great. They're super absorbent.
Go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen right now. The new MyPillow towels are exclusively made with 100% USA combed cotton with proprietary technology and with maximum absorbency. They dry you faster and are guaranteed to work. And listen to this. Use the promo code on your screen and Mike will include a second full towel set set with bath towel, hand towel, and washcloth absolutely free. That's 2 MyPillow towel sets for the price of 1 in your choice of color.
I personally guarantee they're going to be the best towels you'll ever own.
Order now.
Use a single HR software? Nope. We use 11. 11.
Why do an expense report from your phone when you can do it from a machine that jams?
I just emailed my wife's social security number to the entire company instead of HR, so please come back.
How hard is your business software working for you? With Paycom, employees enter and manage their own HR data in one easy-to-use software. Visit paycom.com for a free demo.
Han, first off, we love each other.
And we're back with some headlines. The 73-year-old owner of the New Orleans Saints and Pelicans stops a potential carjacking all by herself. The police say a man entered Gail Benson's car. While she was in it, she started screaming at him to get out, sending him running. She was not hurt, and no arrests have been made. And the New England Patriots canceling practice after another player tests positive for COVID-19. ESPN reporting the team has put a defensive lineman on the COVID reserve list. The team is still set to play the Denver Broncos tomorrow. The game had already been postponed from last week. Pete?
Thank you, Will. All right, a military veterans cafe targeted and shot at during chaotic protests in the city. The owner says Antifa-linked rioters targeted his business for apparently being, quote, unfriendly to the Black Lives Matter movement. John Jackson is the owner of Heroes American Cafe and joins me now. John, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your service. Tell us what happened to your business in Portland and why.
Yeah, Pete. Well, on Sunday evening, we were attacked, gunshots through the windows, which I found shocking, surprising, and really surreal. And you kind of got it. It was
either into 2021 or worse yet onto streaming. So we're having a very, very tough time of it in the 48 states where we can open. We've done so very safely with our cinema safe protocols at the theaters in those states, and we just don't have any big movies to play, and it's really hurting us. Regal Cinemas had to shut down all of their locations in the states where they were open again because they just couldn't make a go of it, and other theaters are doing the same.
Joseph, you mentioned hearing from Governor Cuomo's office. Here's a statement from their office. We understand some people are unhappy, but you know what? Better unhappy than sick or worse. 48 other states have opened their cinemas. Joseph, you talked about the safety protocols at your theaters. Have there been any big outbreaks in any of those states that you're aware of?
Not a single one in the United States or, a matter of fact, in the world from a movie theater. Not one.
I mean, yeah, last time I checked, there's a lot of seats in the theaters, and if you want to put a space in between them, you can. So is there a single scientific rationale anyone's given you for the fact that they've crushed your industry?
No, that was the point of frustration, and that was the point of the call to action for the marquees. You know, we've asked to open in counties of New York State where the COVID numbers have been, you know, good. The infection rates have been, 1% or less. We would like to get theaters open, and it would give the studio some confidence to populate the film schedule, thereby, letting theaters around the United States and, frankly, the world, thrive.
From what I understand, 10,000 is the number of people out of work from theater closures across the state of New York. All right, Joseph Masher, we appreciate your time this morning.
Good idea with those marquees, though. Well done. Smart.
Thank you so much.
All right. Coming up on Fox and Friends, leader Kevin McCarthy, Senators Marsha Blackburn and Thom Tillis, and Kayleigh McEnany.
We'll be busy.
We'll be.
Sheets right off the corner of the mattress that you stole from your roommate back
getting bolder. We ain't ever getting older.
Nice.
This is the new Buick?
I think you mean the new Alexa.
It's a Buick.
It's an Alexa? Check it out. Alexa, turn on the outdoor lights.
Okay. That's cool, but I'm pretty sure it's a Buick.
Clearly an Alexa. Alexa, get directions to the 818 grill.
Getting directions. It's a Buick.
First ever Buick Encore GX. Available with Alexa built in.
Nice Buick.
It's an Alexa. Now get nearly $3,300 purchase cash on the 2020 Encore GX. Ask Alexa, tell me about Buick SUVs.
I'm in Seattle, and this is certainly a beautiful part of the world. But so many of our cities across the country are having unrest. Governments don't know what to do. They don't know how to solve it. The problem is we've taken God, not only out of government, we've taken him out of our lives. We need to put God back in. You see, God sent his son, Jesus Christ, to this earth to take our sins. Jesus didn't come to condemn you. He came to save you by taking our sins on a cross and shedding his blood. And on the third day, God raised him to life. Jesus isn't dead, he's alive. And he'll come into your heart and change you and forgive you. If you're willing to just pray this prayer, just say, God, I've sinned, I'm sorry, forgive me. I believe that Jesus Christ is your son, and I want to trust him as my Savior. If you prayed that prayer, I want you to call the number right now that's on the screen. We've got someone who'd like to pray with you. They'll do it right now. Call that number. We want to talk to you and pray with you. God bless.
If you're feeling more tired and worn out, it may not be your fault. Energy levels drop with age, and spending too much time indoors can make you even more sluggish. Now, there's Ageless Male Core Energy, the newest way to fight fatigue. Core Energy is the only formula with PowerFem, a science-based blend merged with nutrition to work on the cellular level, where energy is created to help recharge your natural batteries. Find Core Energy at all major retailers like Walmart and be the man you want to be.
Let's go! You want results? You need a personal trainer in your home on your terms.
Hard work gets rewards.
A trainer that live controls your machine.
Everything you got right now, let's go!
To give you a truly interactive experience.
This is your reward.
Interactive personal training.
That feels your head.
Only at NordicTrack.com.
We're Carvana, the company who invented car vending machines and buying a car 100% online. Now we've created a brand new way for you to sell your car. Whether it's a year old or a few years old, we want to buy your car. So go to Carvana and enter your license plate, answer a few questions, and our techno wizardry calculates your car's value and gives you a real offer in seconds. When you're ready, we'll come to you, pay you on the spot, and pick up your car. That's it. So ditch the old way of selling your car and say hello to the new way at Carvana.
It's gonna get loud like a 12 gauge, like a shock wave shaking the ground. Loud like a freight train, like the roar of a hometown crowd.
That is Fox Square, formerly known as the Plaza. If you look sort of in the middle of the screen there, that's Studio F, which will be, in 17 days, the headquarters of the Fox News coverage of Election Day, Election Night, maybe Election Week. We shall see. But we're, you might say, warming up the studio, Will, here.
I was going to say, for this Saturday morning here on Fox & Friends, it's the headquarters for this show.
It is the headquarters.
We were right there in the middle of your screen, Jedediah.
Very little.
Yep. 17 days to go, guys. I don't know where the time flies. I feel like I don't even know. I mean, can you believe it's only 17 days? I feel like we've lost a lot of months this year that have vanished into the ether, but here we are.
Yeah, the China virus tried to put a lid on all of our lives. Here we are, and you know, you're seeing two very contrasting approaches to the campaign trail here at the end. Joe Biden, by the way, today, big schedule, nothing on the schedule today. Here is what the president has today and going forward. He's hitting the campaign trail. He's in 3 stops yesterday. You couldn't miss him on Fox News. Here's where he'll be going. Saturday, forgive me if I mispronounce one of these. Muskegon, Michigan, Janesville, Wisconsin, Carson City, Nevada on Sunday, Prescott, Arizona, and Tucson, Arizona on Monday, Erie, Pennsylvania Tuesday, Gastonia, I believe, North Carolina on Wednesday, and all of those states have something in common. These are swing states, Will. These are states he needs to win, and places where he's trying to press the advantage and get people out.
Do you like sequels? Do you like part 2 of a movie? Because I think what you're looking at here is a potential sequel to 2016.
Well, I do like that sequel.
Well, here's what I mean. You said 2 different election strategies, 2 different campaign strategies. That's absolutely true. While polls might be moving in states like Florida, what we're seeing from the Biden campaign is a belief they are winning and they are attempting to run out the clock. While President Trump is out on that campaign trail, Joe Biden is avoiding some of the most controversial issues like Hunter Biden and packing the court and not, although he's been out a little more recently, not keeping up the same kind of schedule as President Trump. And the sequel will be, if they lose this election, very similar to the accusations against Hillary Clinton. Why didn't you go to Michigan? Why weren't you out there more? One place they will be, though, we assume, is a third, what would have been third, now second presidential debate. Here are the topics we know now for that next presidential debate: fighting COVID-19, American families, race in America, climate change, and national security leadership, Jedediah.
Yeah, and I think this is going to be a really telling election, and that's exactly how I like it. You have very different visions for the country. You have a very different approach. Pete, you referenced the strategy with respect to COVID-19. I don't think could be more different. And I don't know how this is going to go, but I'm genuinely curious how it will all go. We have issues of law and order and defunding the police. I mean, the 2 parties and the 2 candidates feel very strongly about what they're putting out there. They're not being secretive about it. In that respect, the strategy is front and center for people to see. And I think it will be really telling as to where the country actually stands right now. This is a different kind of year. It's not every year that you're faced with a global pandemic and have that as part of how you have to configure a campaign strategy. So I think this will be a very telling year. Victor David Hanson, actually from the Hoover Institute, he's a senior fellow who weighed in on COVID-19 in particular, Trump's election strategy, and what that looks like for him. Let's take a listen to what he had to say on that matter.
I think it does. I think he was becoming stagnant with the COVID illness and the expectation one will take a long time to recover. You didn't have the rallies, which are force multipliers of his campaign. And so Joe Biden was running out the clock, I think, pretty successfully. But in the last 3 or 4 days, I think things have changed quite radically, because now he's got a new emphasis, and he's one with the muscular classes. He's going to take risks like they did. They're out there working, producing fuel, food, and supplies for the rest of us, and you can't really be a basement country or a basement presidency. And he's over COVID. He's got the rallies back, and now you can see what the themes are going to be for the last 3 weeks.
You know, Joe Biden has made the strategy what it is because he does trust the polling, is my perception. He trusts the polling. If you look at the polling on COVID-19, the Trump administration has had some trouble with that. And I think Joe Biden is sitting and saying a lot of the country believes in social distancing. A lot of the country believes in mask wearing. A lot of the country may look at those rallies and say this might not be the best way to act in a time of a pandemic. He's making that decision because he trusts the polls. That doesn't mean that the polling is right. We've seen the polling fail in the past. We saw it fail in large part in 2016. But I think that's why I'm saying, Pete, that it will be interesting to see what the election results hold, because Joe Biden's strategy has been very much to let the clock run out and to take that strategy of social distancing himself. He has brought that strategy directly into his campaign in a very large way. And I don't think anyone knows today what the impact will be and whether or not that will be a successful strategy.
But being true to yourself will be the name of the game, because a lot of people don't buy it the way the Biden camp has embraced their virtue signaling. They're ready to move on. They want to open up. And Victor Davis Hanson's view It's a smart one. The muscular classes, the blue-collar guys, the essential workers and gals who have been out there from the beginning, putting their lives on the line, willing to work, not hiding in their basement. They don't have the benefit of a Zoom call or doing their job over Skype. They've got to be out there. He can connect with them and understands that. You mentioned the polling, too, Jed. Actually, just a couple of days ago, Jen O'Malley Dillon, who's the campaign manager for Joe Biden, was actually on a grassroots call and was reported as saying they believe the national public polling numbers, their numbers, are not a double-digit lead. They're very much inflated, and the race is much tighter than the public is saying. So to your point, Will, setting up for a 2016 rematch, potentially, where the national media says, oh, you know, Hillary Clinton's got a 90% chance of winning, just like they're saying right now with Joe Biden. The national numbers don't matter. What matters in the states where Donald Trump is going repeatedly, time and time again, to build up the excitement and juice the turnout. We'll see where that goes. Now, part of what we saw this week, we didn't see a debate. Will, you referenced how it's going to be the second, was going to be the third, now the second. We didn't have a debate, but we had dueling town halls. Everybody watched them. Well, there's new questions about ABC. Because if you look at the grilling that, the grilling that President Trump got, it was in quite contrast to what Joe Biden faced, which was a bunch of softballs. Here's some of the questions that were asked of Biden at ABC's town hall. Listen.
The Supreme Court is our next topic. The questioner, Nathan Osborne of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Democrat.
Our country's first Supreme Court gave its first rulings just 2 blocks from here, from 1791 to 1800, and it's become more polarized since then. So what do you think about ideas from people like Pete Buttigieg and others to put in place safeguards that will help ensure more long-term balance and stability?
I want to get one more question in this segment, and it comes from Mika Hack. She's from State College, Pennsylvania.
My youngest daughter is transgender. How will you, as president, reverse this dangerous and discriminatory agenda and ensure that the lives and rights of LGBTQ people are protected under U.S. law?
Oh, just regular Democrats, right? I mean, ABC wants us to look past it. I know how much preparation goes into town halls that Fox News does and how carefully they vet these things. Did ABC not think we might look this stuff up? Well, here's who those 2 participants are and their backgrounds. Nathan Osborne is a former speechwriter for Obama. Worked for the Office of Public Affairs at the Commerce Department and other places. Mika Hack was the wife of a high-profile Pennsylvania Democrat and an at-large member of the Democrat committee in her county. So not just Democrats, you might say, well, super Democrats.
You know, Pete, Jedediah, we were on Fox and Friends a little bit earlier this week, and I referenced this now becoming the worst magic act I've ever attended.
That was a good analogy, by the way.
Thank you for that. I can see all your tricks. I see the cards up your sleeve. I see under the table. Look at the difference in how these 2 campaigns are treated throughout the vast, big media echo chamber. You referenced the softball questions versus the hard pressing from Savannah Guthrie. George Stephanopoulos pressed Joe Biden a few times, but you'd be hard-pressed not to see that those were very different tones. You're now referencing who those questions were asked by, Democrats who were in the same administration as Joe Biden. There were those who even criticized NBC for programming the Trump town hall at the same time as Joe Biden's town hall. The moderators who are actively and openly anti-Trump in the past, suppressing stories that might hurt Joe Biden. Again, it does not matter if you're left or right. It takes willful obtuseness, willful ignorance to not see. This is a terrible magic act. This is a trick being played on all of us to make fair decisions in this election. By the way, Aaron Prini, Trump 2020 Deputy Communications Director, talked about those questions and what the media is doing to help prop up Joe Biden.
The media, Joe Biden's campaign, and the Presidential Debate Commission are trying to prop up a weak candidate with weak policies because they know that Joe Biden is held by the extreme radicals in the United States, and he won't condemn them. He won't condemn things that would actually destroy the integrity of our nation, like packing the Supreme Court, that would destroy jobs, like stopping fracking in the United States, and would destroy households, like getting rid of the Trump tax cuts. Joe Biden is a disaster, but he has so many people in his corner to try and prop him up along the way. President Trump does this for one reason alone. It is the American people, and that's the fire to his fight.
You know, I enjoyed the NBC format much more, and I know Savannah Guthrie took some heat because people felt like she overstepped. It was a town hall, so it was a bit odd that she was so involved front and center. It seemed like more of an interview, so I had more of an issue with the format. But I liked that she went hard and heavy on that questioning because that's what you want. You want that pushback to give you as a candidate an opportunity to show that you can be above some of that you have answers to those questions. You want to be able to laugh things off when it's appropriate. You want to be able to answer hard-hitting things when it's appropriate. So I liked that format and thoroughly enjoyed it. And I felt that the other one did a disservice to Joe Biden. It didn't really enable him to show anything except for what we've seen already. It was very mellow. It just seemed like a nothing burger. And I much preferred. I know it was more contentious on NBC, but it was also far more interesting. And that's what politics is about, right? You got to get people's attention in order to get them to follow what you're saying. Otherwise, it's all lost.
Go ahead. No, it would be interesting if it once happened the other way around. It's not interesting to see a Republican get grilled because it happens all the time. That's what they do. That's who they attack. When they do it one time in a meaningful way to Joe Biden or a Democrat, that will be when this becomes interesting.
But I do agree with Jedediah. If it's done face to face, if you're standing on a firm foundation of truth, when you face adversaries, you can come out looking better.
Correct.
I like that situation that President Trump was in the other night on NBC, and I think he did come out looking better.
I agree with you on that.
All right. Turning now to your headlines. A terror investigation is underway in Paris. Police say a teenager beheaded a teacher for showing cartoons of the Prophet Muhammad during a class. Officers opened fire on the teen after he threatened them with a knife. The Moscow-born teen died in the confrontation. France's president is calling the beheading an Islamist terrorist attack, saying the teacher was murdered for teaching freedom of expression. More than 370,000 mail-in ballot applications are rejected in Pennsylvania. ProPublica reporting the applications were rejected because most of them were duplicates. The state says voters may have mistakenly sent in more than one request. That's because people who voted in the June primaries may have requested a ballot for the general election. State officials say people will get their ballot in time. And the Los Angeles Dodgers win Game 5 of the NLCS after a very unique home run.
And a high fly ball to left. Back at the wall, it is gone.
Catcher Will Smith hitting a 3-run home run off the Braves pitcher, also named Will Smith. The Dodgers won 7-3. Atlanta still leads the series 3-2. You can catch Game 6 tonight on Fox. In the American League, the Houston Astros are beating the Tampa Bay Rays 7-4 to tie up the series. The Astros at one point were down 3-0 in that series. Was that a unique home run you were waiting to see?
I was, and then it became a word thing. But has Will Smith and Will Smith ever been read by Will Cain? That's a triple Will.
Just get Will Smith, the actor, in here, and you got a triple play.
All right, we're speaking nonsense. Still ahead, after campaigning in Michigan, Joe Biden taking the day off on the trail as Trump heads to battleground states today. Michigan Congresswoman Debbie Dingell, Democrat, on which message will resonate the most with voters in her state next. Now more than ever is the time to celebrate America. And you could do that with us by streaming Fox Nation. From the people that brought you Fox News, get original exclusive shows and documentaries with some of your favorite Fox News personalities, as well as great series like Duck Dynasty, Crime Stories with Nancy Grace, and more. And it's all available now on your TV, phone, or tablet. Join now and start celebrating America with Fox Nation. Take a look.
All of a sudden, out came a skunk ape. It was running as fast as a deer.
I got to meet what most people think was the Jersey Devil.
I have interviewed 5 or 6 people who claim they've seen a living pterodactyl.
3, 2. How would you explain that?
It was amazing the theories people were coming up with.
Are these really cryptids? Are they biological, or are they something just beyond what we can even imagine?
You know that look? That life of the party look. Walk it off look. 1 more mile look. Reply all look. Own your look with fewer lines. There's only one Botox cosmetic. It's the only one FDA approved to temporarily make frown lines, crow's feet, and forehead lines look better. The effects of Botox cosmetic may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away, as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness may be a sign of a life-threatening condition. Do not receive Botox cosmetic if you have a skin infection. Side effects may include allergic reactions, injection site pain, headache, eyebrow, eyelid drooping, and eyelid swelling. Tell your doctor about your medical history, muscle or nerve conditions, and medications including botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects. So give that just saw a puppy look. And whatever that look is, look like you with fewer lines. See results at BotoxCosmetic.com.
Ready?
Shoo.
We don't want to be late. Baby's name is
Stephen Wright. It's Stephen with the PH.
The address is
531 Sage Street. That's just next to City Hall.
Where are my keys? My glasses?
Head.
Wait, how are you doing this?
Focus Factor.
Focus Factor has been clinically shown to improve memory, concentration, and focus. It improves verbal learning and short-term memory by 44%. So get your Einstein on.
Yo! Wow, Dad's on it too.
Focus Factor. Beat your Einstein.
It's Blue Diamond, everyone's favorite fry pan. The only non-stick fry pan infused with millions of diamonds. So non-stick, it's like cooking on air. Absolutely nothing sticks to Blue Diamond. It's the strongest pan you'll ever own. Its finish lasts 10 times longer. Blue Diamond is dishwasher safe and toxin free.
This is the strongest pan I've ever owned. Blue Diamond lets me go from the stovetop to the oven, and it's even broiler safe. I love to cook all my family recipes with Blue Diamond.
Get Blue Diamond, everyone's favorite non-stick pan, available at these fine stores.
When you can't watch, listen. Get the latest news, business, and news headlines on SiriusXM. Anytime, anywhere. Fox News Audio on SiriusXM. America is listening.
We don't have a minute to lose on this. Start right with a ground game. It's actually worse than Hillary. At least there was a ground game, even though she didn't show up. So we need to do it differently than 16, but we need to go in the other direction. We need more. We don't need less.
That's filmmaker Michael Moore sounding the alarm back in September on Joe Biden's ground game in Michigan. As concern grows that Democrats could once again lose that state, the former VP campaigning there yesterday and President Trump heading to the all-important battleground state today. Here with what we can expect is Michigan Democratic Congresswoman Debbie Dingell. Debbie, welcome to the show. Thanks for being here on this very important state, Michigan. Right now, if you look, the RCP average, Biden is at 50.1%. President Trump is at 42.9%. What are the key issues here that should be talked about to Michigan voters in order to get their attention?
Well, good morning, and it's always good to be with Fox and Friends. You know, I think that there are a number of issues. I think one is COVID, quite frankly. Michigan has seen in the last 2 days the highest numbers that they've seen since April or May. You know, there's some consternation on the heart of some people, including the president, who tells our governor to open up Michigan. But there are a lot of other people that have lost a lot of lives, have a lot of friends, and 1 in 4 people have been unemployed in Michigan. So it's a major issue. And he's the whole masking issue. But then people are worried about jobs. We are 1 in 4 people's without jobs. I was one of the people that 4 years ago said Donald Trump could win. Nobody listened to me then. That is not a problem this year. And I think it's still competitive in Michigan, too, by the way. But the fact of the matter is, 4 years ago, he said he would create more jobs. He would protect jobs. And just in my district alone, I've got 2 steel plants. One that is on layoff for almost a year. It was last December. And another that a line was shut down in May. So I think, man, he's actually lost jobs here. So I think those are 2 issues. In healthcare, the broader issue, the COVID drives part of that healthcare discussion.
Yeah, obviously COVID-19, the economy, the shutdowns, all incredibly important. I want to ask you about a moment that went viral a little bit with respect to Senator Feinstein. We saw the Amy Coney Barrett hearings that were terribly civil. That's a good thing. They were able to get their work done, no personal attacks. And you saw an embrace of Senator Feinstein and Lindsey Graham that went viral because some on the left had a problem with that. And they came out and said she shouldn't be doing that. She shouldn't be embracing this. And I looked at that and I thought it was a great moment, actually, to see them come together and recognize that this process can and should be civil. What's your reaction to the backlash from some on the left to that moment?
Well, I actually had a backlash for a different reason, because I am somebody who says, as leaders, we lead. We wear masks, we don't hug, we keep our physical distance. So that was my reaction to it from that standpoint. I do believe in civility. I am somebody that respects each other. I had a candidate who attacked me for being civil, for listening to other people. You know, the reason I'm supporting Joe Biden is because he doesn't think of us as red or blue. He's going to pull us together as Americans, and we are Americans. Go back to 9/11. It was the worst of times, but in many ways it was the best of times. We all pulled together. So I think what's happening in the Senate is wrong. I don't think this hearing should be being rushed through, but I think respect, civility, listening to each other, hearing each other's perspectives is a good thing.
Yep. Congresswoman, unfortunately, we're out of time, but if nothing else, civility should be embraced on both sides. It isn't always embraced on both sides, but it should be. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you this week.
Coming up, PC culture and wokeness in the United States is now traveling across the globe. How widespread could the impact be? Douglas Murray is here to break it down, and that's coming up next.
This program is brought to you by Corey. Pure Antarctic Krill Oil, the ocean's superior omega.
A small thing like Corey Krill Oil can make a big difference for our health. From pure Antarctic waters, krill are an omega-3 force of nature and supports immune, heart, brain, joint, eye, and skin health. The ocean's superior omega.
Sometimes constipation happens. It happens to birds. It happens to dogs. And it happens to all of us. Luckily, there's Colace. It's the #1 doctor-recommended stool softener brand for occasional constipation.
When we started Carvana, they told us that selling cars 100% online wouldn't work. But we went to work, building an experience that lets you shop over 17,000 cars from home, creating a coast-to-coast network to deliver your car as soon as tomorrow, recruiting an army of customer advocates to make your experience incredible, and putting you in control of the whole thing with powerful technology. That's why we've become the nation's fastest growing retailer, because our customers love it. See for yourself at Carvana.com.
Let's go! You want results? You need a personal trainer in your home on your terms.
Hard work gets rewards.
A trainer that live controls your machine
Everything you got right now, let's go!
To give you a truly interactive experience.
This is your reward.
Interactive personal training.
That feels your head.
Only at NordicTrack.com.
These days, we're all together all the time. Working, playing, cleaning. Turns out family life can be, well, gross. But Care.com can help with lots of great housekeepers to put your messy place back together again when it's right for you. It costs less than you think. And a clean house feels so good. Get the housekeeping help you need. Care.com.
Now Simparica Trio simplifies protection.
Ticks and fleas? See ya.
Heartworm disease? No way.
Simparica Trio is the first chewable that delivers all this protection. And Simparica Trio is demonstrated safe for puppies. It's simple. Go with Simparica Trio. This drug class has been associated with neurologic adverse reactions, including seizures, used with caution in dogs with a history of these disorders. Protect him with all your heart. Simparica Trio.
What if I sleep hot?
Or cold?
Introducing the new Sleep Number 360 smart bed. Now temperature balancing, so you can sleep better together.
Can it help keep me asleep?
Absolutely. It intelligently senses your movements and automatically adjusts to keep you both effortlessly comfortable.
Can it help with snoring?
I've never heard snoring.
Exactly.
No problem. And done.
So you can really promise better sleep?
Not promise, prove. It's our weekend special. Save up to $1,000 on the new Sleep Number 360 smart bed and adjustable base. Plus 0% interest for 48 months. Ends Monday.
Time now for your news by the numbers. First, 170, that's how many illegal immigrants are arrested by ICE agents. Are seized by the New York-Canada border. Agents found them inside a truck during an inspection. The shipment is valued at more than $156,000. And finally, $6.4 million. That's how much Baltimore congressional candidate Kimberly Classic is reporting in fundraising. She says President Trump helped boost her fundraising efforts after she shared her viral campaign video on Twitter. All right, Pete, over to you.
Good job with the numbers, Will. All right, PC culture and wokeness in America now making its way across the pond. Our next guest writing in a new op-ed, quote, "We Brits aren't enjoying America's export of political correctness and wish you would keep this stuff to yourselves." Here with the growing ripple effects is Douglas Murray, author of the best-selling book, The Madness of Crowds. Douglas, thank you so much for being here this morning, one of the smartest guys we know. So there's a lot to love, as you say, about America, but what are we exporting to you that you'd rather not have these days?
Yeah, there certainly is a lot to love, and great to be back with you. Yes, I say that the problem is that America's culture wars keep on spilling out to the rest of the English-speaking world, not least to my own country of Great Britain. A few years ago, when America had the sexual counter-revolution of the Me Too movement, it almost immediately flooded across the pond. It took down, among others, the then defense minister, who had to resign because it turned out that 15 years earlier he'd put his hand on a journalist's knee. It was a very English sex scandal because it didn't involve any sex. This sort of thing has become more and more common. There's been case after case in area after area, and most recently, of course, by the importing into the UK of the very specific racial debate and discussions that have followed in the wake of the Black Lives Matter movement. That movement, you know, whatever can be said for and against it in the US, really isn't a perfect fit at all in the UK. 4 years ago, I went to see the first Black Lives Matter UK demo, and the demonstrators were marching along Oxford Street with their hands in the air saying, "Hands up, don't shoot," all accompanied by unarmed British police officers who couldn't have shot them if they'd wanted to. So the point I keep trying to make is, you know, that these debates just wash across the rest of the world, and frankly, a lot of the world doesn't really want them.
Well, and we're seeing statues. Winston Churchill, an admiral that you are probably more familiar with than I am, Admiral Nelson, they're being called to be torn down as part of the culture of colonialism. What's the grievance there?
Yeah, that's right. You know, just as in America, you go in no seconds from a toppling of Confederates to the toppling of Abraham Lincoln and George Washington and more. So these sort of Antifa and BLM activists end up finding imitators in Great Britain. In the UK, we have the original anti-fascist, Winston Churchill, an actual anti-fascist, you know, the real thing.
The real thing.
With his statue repeatedly assailed by BLM activists in the UK, saying that he's a racist. Just recently, yes, this week we have Admiral Nelson, who died in 1805, one of the great naval heroes of the UK, calls for his column in Trafalgar Square in London to be pulled down because of Black Lives Matter. The Greenwich Maritime Museum, the National Maritime Museum in Greenwich, says that Admiral Nelson's whole reputation now, 2 centuries later, is being reassessed in the wake of Black Lives Matter. And this is a problem, as I say, this is a totally imperfect fit. But, you know, the dominance of American culture and, you know, has so much to be said for it. The American export of so many great things around the world. You could list them. But this is a really negative thing, that the rest of the world started to imitate American culture wars at home.
Such a great point. The man who defeated fascism is being targeted by anti-fascists. You couldn't make it up unless you wrote it in 1984. All right, Douglas Murray, thank you so much. We appreciate your insight, always.
It's a great pleasure.
We'll try to do better for you. All right, up next, a young voter presses Joe Biden on what the Democrat Party is offering the black community.
Besides, you ain't black. What do you have to say to young black voters who see voting for you as further participation in a system that continually fails to protect them?
Rob Smith says Biden's answer was just empty rhetoric, and he joins us next. And before the presidential debate kicks off, we asked viewers to pick America's question from our friends at Fox Bet Super 6, and here's the winning question. How many times will Joe Biden say the phrase, "Come on, man"? Enter for a free chance to win $50,000. Download the Fox Bet Super 6 app and play the presidential debate game. Pick 6 possible outcomes, then watch the debate on Fox News on Thursday to see how it all unfolds. Download the Fox Bet Super 6 app now to get started.
Before discovering Nexium, of 24-hour to treat her frequent heartburn, Marie could only imagine enjoying freshly squeezed orange juice. Now, no fruit is forbidden. Nexium 24-hour stops acid before it starts for all-day, all-night protection. Can you imagine 24 hours without heartburn?
At Chewy, we know walks are made better with our furry friends, and we're here to make those walks easy. From tasty treats on the go to toys that keep them moving. Get everything they need, even prescriptions, delivered right to your door. Get fast, free 1 to 2 day shipping. Visit Chewy.com today.
We judge leaders by their results. Under Joe Biden, we got endless war. A broken VA, veterans paid with their lives. ISIS grew, slaughtered innocents. That's what Joe Biden's weak leadership left us. Under President Trump, America is winning again. President Trump crushed ISIS, eliminated the world's deadliest terrorists, fixed the VA, and is bringing our troops home. Real leadership, real results.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
If your dry eye symptoms keep coming back, inflammation in your eye might be to blame.
Looks like a great day for achy, burning eyes.
Over-the-counter eye drops typically work by lubricating your eyes and may provide temporary relief.
Ha! These drops probably won't touch me.
Xiidra works differently, targeting inflammation that can cause dry eye disease.
What is that? Xiidra!
It can provide lasting relief.
Oh.
Xiidra is the only FDA-approved treatment specifically for the signs and symptoms of dry eye disease. 1 drop in each eye, twice a day. Don't use if you're allergic to Xiidra. Common side effects include eye irritation, discomfort, or blurred vision when applied to the eye, and unusual taste sensation. Don't touch container tip to your eye or any surface. After using Xiidra, wait 15 minutes before reinserting contacts.
Got any room in your eye?
Talk to an eye doctor about twice daily Xiidra.
I'd prefer you didn't.
Xiidra. Not today, dry eye.
Home restoration takes time and money, so don't renovate, rejuvenate. Rejuvenate's Cabinet and Furniture Restore renews your sealed wood surfaces in just a few easy wipe-on applications, making them look brand new with a protective shine that lasts for years. To make your floors look brand new, get Rejuvenate Floor Restorers. In one easy mop-on application, they fill in scratches, restore, shine, and protect hardwood, laminate, linoleum, vinyl, and ceramic tile, and puts a beautiful shine that can last for years. Easily remove dirt and grime from your floors with Rejuvenate's All Floors Cleaner. This pH balanced cleaner is safe for all flooring surfaces, it's easy to use, and leaves behind a beautiful streak-free shine. And for a fast, thorough clean with a brilliant shine, get Click and Clean. This extra-large spray mop uses Rejuvenate's top-rated floor cleaners as Click and cartridges to clean hardwood and laminate, vinyl and marble, the dirty tile and grout. So don't renovate, rejuvenate, and make your home look new again. Rejuvenate is available at your favorite home centers and retailers everywhere.
Call 1-800-SANDALS.
Besides, you ain't black. What do you have to say to young black voters who see voting for you as further participation in a system that continually fails to protect them?
Well, I say, first of all, as my buddy John Lewis said, it's a sacred opportunity and right to vote. You can make a difference. If young black women and men vote, you can determine the outcome of this election.
You hear what you needed to hear?
I think so.
Joe Biden getting grilled by a young voter during ABC's town hall with a veiled swipe at these comments Biden made back in May.
I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
Here with how Biden's message is resonating with young voters is Rob Smith, author of Always a Soldier and host of the Rob Smith is Problematic podcast. Rob, welcome to the show. Thanks for being here. You know, my first reaction when I saw that clip of that great question, I think, that was asked of Joe Biden is that there was no answer given. Joe Biden said nothing in response to that question. What was your reaction to his response?
Yeah, Joe Biden actually did say nothing, but first of all, I want to congratulate ABC for finding a real voter to ask a question in between Obama speechwriters and Democrat operatives. So congratulations to them on that. But as far as the answer that Joe Biden gave to this young black man, and I listened to every second of that answer, it was empty, it was meandering, it was a bunch of rhetoric, and I'll tell you guys, and a lot of people know, the voter in me that voted for Obama twice would have listened to that and loved it and been completely happy with it. But the voter in me that completely left the Democrat Party because they did nothing but give empty rhetoric and no answers is rejecting that. And I think that a lot of young African-American millennials right now are rejecting the empty rhetoric in favor of results. So what these voters are asking is, they're saying, I am tired of the rhetoric, I am tired of the meandering, what are the results? And I think that a lot of young black people, particularly young black men, are moving over to the right and moving over to Republicans because we are are seeing results.
Yeah, Rob, even the camera was on that voter. He was asked if he was convinced. He didn't look very convinced, but he was on camera. No. What are you going to say in that moment? We want to get your take on another issue as well. The famous rapper, actor Ice Cube has talked about being willing to work with the Trump campaign on things to benefit the black community. He had an appearance canceled at first on CNN, which he criticized their decision to do that. Then he was on CNN last night. Here's a portion of what he said.
I'm willing to work with both teams, but I'm just working with whoever is willing to work with me. So the Trump campaign came to me and asked me to explain to them some of the contract with Black America. That's what I did. I'm not playing no more of these games, these political games. We're not part of a team. We have very broad problems, especially the wealth gap in this country when it comes to Black Americans. So I'm going to whoever's in power, and I'm going to speak to them about our problems.
So, Rob, I mean, what else can you ask for? The willingness to listen, be heard, and talk through issues that can benefit people.
I mean, you can. And look, I think that Ice Cube is absolutely right on this. What African Americans need to stop doing, what Black Americans need to stop doing, is you can't cower in the Democrat closet every time there's not a Democrat in power. And the interesting thing about the response to Ice Cube from the African American community is one of the idiot PhDs on one of the other networks that said that Trump is working with him because he thinks that black men are stupid. It's that Ice Cube got the same criticism that a lot of black Republicans get. He was called an Uncle Tom. He was called a coon. It was all of that stuff. But the funny thing about this is that he's not even a Republican. The only thing that he indicated was a willingness to work with the Republican administration to benefit Black America. I think this is a good thing. And like I said, I do believe that young black men are the swing voters in this election coming up. And you're going to have more people that are tired of Democrat empty promises, tired of their rhetoric, and people with as much power as Ice Cube, as people like BET founder Bob Johnson, are going to be willing to work with Republican administrations because people are looking for results. It is about results, not rhetoric.
Should be.
Yeah, Rob, Ice Cube had a great tweet about all the times in his life he's been called a sellout and then turned into a success in response to all of this. I want to ask you about another rapper. I think all of us agree it's good if Joe Biden or President Trump with the Platinum Plan address the very specific issues that are needed within the black community. But I'm curious if you think this is also progress. Diddy announced that he was launching a new political party. This is what he tweeted. I'm launching one of the boldest things I've ever launched. I'm launching a black political party with some young black elected officials and its activists. It's called Our Black Party. It doesn't matter if you're a Republican or Democrat. Rob, this country seems to be moving more and more into defining ourselves by race. While we want to address issues, is it wise to define political parties by race?
I don't believe so. It seems a little separatist to me. And look, when I saw the Diddy stuff about the new black party, I mean, it just, to me, it looked like a PAC, and I guess that they're going to raise money for candidates. It didn't really seem like an actual political party. But the thing about it is that I don't believe that this is going to be something bipartisan. It says that, oh, it doesn't matter if you're Republican or Democrat. I don't believe so. I think that this is just another celebrity that is going to use black people to funnel money to Democratic candidates. So this doesn't seem to me like something that is going to be on the level that is really going to change anything.
All right, Rob Smith, really good stuff this morning. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, thanks.
Great points.
Thanks,
and has
Rob.
the best title of a podcast ever. Rob Smith is problematic. That's so awesome. I love it. I smile every time I see it.
You guys all listen.
All right, we're going to turn to some headlines. We're going to turn to some headlines for you now. Disgraced Chicago Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson had the equivalent of 10 drinks the night he was found passed out behind the wheel. That's according to a newly released report from the Chicago Inspector General's office. It says 7 officers helped cover up the incident by not doing a thorough investigation and making false statements. All of the officers have been suspended. Johnson was fired last year for lying about the incident. And the Supreme Court will review President Trump's census case. Justices will hear arguments over whether the administration can exclude illegal immigrants from the count that's used to reallocate seats in Congress. A lower court ruling blocked the president's push last month, calling it unlawful. The Supreme Court hearing is scheduled for November 30th. And Dale Earnhardt Jr. is welcoming a new addition He and his wife, Amy, welcoming their second baby this week named Nicole. The couple already have a 2-year-old daughter named Isla. Dale says his wife had a healthy pregnancy, but says it felt longer because of the pandemic. And those are your headlines.
All right. Thanks, Jedediah. Now let's go to Adam Klotz for the latest on the weather. What's up, Adam?
Hey, good morning, guys. Well, it's beginning to feel like winter in large portions of the country. That's going to continue to be the case here as we move through this weekend. Already waking up this morning. If you're in the Midwest, you're feeling this. Some spots getting down to around freezing, and no surprise when you see a number like 31 on the map. We've got freeze watches and warnings that have settled down in across the Midwest, stretching in the Appalachian Mountains. So from places like Louisville up into Detroit, Columbus, Cleveland, all areas where you've got those freeze warnings or watches. This is just one round of cold weather, and unfortunately there's going to be a little bit more back behind it. I'll take you up into the northern plains. This is going to get into early tomorrow morning, and you're seeing temperatures again dropping down into the 20s, the low 20s. Out in front of this, that is snow falling. It's getting more and more like winter. Not a really big amount of snowfall, maybe just some rain wrapping up into the Great Lakes, but back along some of those higher elevations, we could be talking as much as 6 inches of snow, 12 inches of snow. I'm not ready for it, guys, but winter is slowly coming this way. Back out to you.
Sure is.
Thanks, Adam.
Thank you, Adam. All right, outrage grows over big tech censorship. Now top bosses will be grilled on Capitol Hill this next week. Senator Marsha Blackburn will join us with a preview.
We can't always keep our distance, but we can still help protect each other this flu season by getting vaccinated. If you're 65 or older, get the superior flu protection of Fluzone High-Dose Quadrivalent. It's the only 65-plus flu vaccine with 4 times the standard dose. And it's free with Medicare Part B.
Fluzone High-Dose Quadrivalent isn't for people who've had a severe allergic reaction to any flu vaccine or vaccine component, including eggs or egg products. Tell your healthcare professional if you've ever experienced severe muscle weakness after receiving a flu shot. People with weakened immune systems, including those receiving therapies that suppress the immune system, may experience lower immune responses. Vaccination may not protect everyone. Side effects include pain, redness and/or swelling where you got the shot, muscle ache, headache, and general discomfort. Other side effects may occur.
If you're 65 plus, don't settle for a standard dose flu shot. Move up to superior flu protection. See your healthcare provider and ask for Fluzone High-Dose Quadrivalent by name.
Now, enjoy delicious Dutch oven cooking with Blue Diamond's Big Batch, the new forged aluminum design pan that's 50% lighter than traditional cast iron and a breeze to clean. Light in weight yet durable for big results. And with diamond-infused non-stick coating, nothing sticks. Fry, bake, saute, even slow cook. It's metal utensil safe, toxin free, and dishwasher safe. Go big with Blue Diamond's Big Batch and glass lid. Available at these fine retailers.
Joe Biden was raised with middle-class values. Joe doesn't need to be the center of attention or see himself on TV. He has always focused on getting the job done. Joe led us out of the 2008 recession and increased health coverage for millions. As president, Joe will focus on getting us out of our crises. He'll listen to experts, work across the aisle, and put the American people first. FFPAC is responsible for the content of this ad.
When we were driving down the road in Iraq, and the fuel tank basically was inches away from where I was sitting and covered me and my buddies who were in the vehicle with me in fuel and instantly on fire.
I'm Frank Silla, Chairman and CEO of the Tunnel to Towers Foundation. We started the foundation to honor my brother, a firefighter who gave his life saving others on 9/11. And we have been supporting our frontline heroes ever since.
My life's going to be changed in the way that I'm going to have more independence in general. It's kind of crazy to think it has nothing to do with a house. It has to do with people who do amazing things for other people. And the house just seems to be the product of that amazing thing. Tunnel Towers have built me a smart home, and it's going to let me live my life more independently.
I'm asking you to join us on our mission to do good and support these heroes. Please donate $11 a month by going to tunneltotowers.org or call 1-844-BRAVEST.
Outrage continues to grow following Twitter and Facebook censoring a New York Post report critical of Hunter Biden. The Senate is now calling for the CEOs of Twitter, Facebook, and Google to testify this week on Capitol Hill. Here, with what we can expect, is one of the senators who will be grilling the tech CEOs, a member of the Senate Judiciary Committee and author of The Mind of a Conservative Woman, Tennessee Senator Marsha Blackburn. Senator, thanks for being here with us. Let's start with this. What do you want to hear? What will you be asking these tech CEOs?
Well, they're going to be coming before us on October 28th. At Commerce Committee, we had actually subpoenaed them, unanimous vote from the committee, a couple of weeks ago, and now they've decided to appear voluntarily. So what we are looking at is Section 230 and the reforms that are going to be necessary for Section 230. Now, this deals with that liability protection shield that big tech has been hiding behind and censoring, using to censor conservatives, censor many of our entertainers. And this is one of the things that our legislation, the Online Freedom and Viewpoint Diversity Act, which Chairman Wicker and Chairman Graham have each joined me in this legislation. What we would do is turn that shield back into something that is transparent by saying, here is when you can use it, here is when you cannot use it, and being explicit in that. Also,
yes,
defining who's a content creator and moderator.
Senator, first of all, let's take a look at really quick who's going to be coming before you this next week. Sure. Here are some of the CEOs on your screen that will be stepping in front of the committee. Jack Dorsey of Twitter, Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook, Sundar Pichai of Alphabet and Google. Really quickly, I think it's important. There are many on the right, not just on the left, who are worried about government stepping into a private company and regulating speech. But you're focusing specifically, and I think it's important for everybody to understand, on Section 230, which provides liability protection if you are sort of a neutral platform and not a publisher. You're telling us how you might propose some changes for oversight. Here's the question, Senator. Why not just take Section 230 away? Why not let these companies be liable to suits for what they may or may not publish?
That's right. And the reason that, as we've worked on this over the last several years, the reason you do not take it away is because you want a competitive marketplace. And Section 230 was put in place for new start businesses. This is something that was put there in the 90s as the internet and these platforms were growing. They are no longer in their infancy.
So it would still apply to small companies, but no longer to these massive tech companies? I see.
That's right.
Okay, we look forward to watching, Senator. It's a very, very important issue. Thank you for helping explain it this morning.
You got it.
All right. Still ahead, October is National Animal Safety and Protection Month. DIY expert Chip Wade is here with the best gear for your pet's needs.
Chase the cat.
I wanted more from my COPD medicine. That's why I've got the power. power of 1, 2, 3 medicines with Trelegy, the only FDA-approved once daily 3-in-1 COPD treatment.
Trelegy, the power of 1, 2, 3. Trelegy, 1, 2, 3. Trelegy.
With Trelegy and the power of 1, 2, 3, I'm breathing better. Trelegy works 3 ways to open airways, keep them open, and reduce inflammation for 24 hours of better breathing.
Trelegy won't replace a rescue inhaler for sudden breathing problems. Tell your doctor if you have a heart condition or high blood pressure before taking it. Do not take Trelegy more than prescribed. Trelegy may increase your risk of thrush, pneumonia, and osteoporosis. Call your doctor if worsened breathing, chest pain, mouth or tongue swelling, problems urinating, vision changes, or eye pain occur.
Think your COPD medicine is doing enough? Maybe you should think again.
Ask your doctor about once daily Trelegy. We know times are hard, and we're here for you. Find support at Trelegy.com.
Michigan, Wisconsin, the 2020 impact as President Trump takes his campaign to crucial swing states. Here's special reaction on what he needs to convey to capture voters today on Cavuto Live.
Is this okay? Do you like our lawmakers' constant bickering? If not, take 15 minutes at informedvoters.net to help our country unite.
If you've served in the military, first responder, or law enforcement communities, then join GovX.com. On GovX.com, you'll find all the gear you need for your on- and off-duty life. Become a member and save on hundreds of brands. If you qualify, join for free at GovX.com.
What if I sleep hot?
Or cold?
Introducing the new Sleep Number 360 smart bed. Now temperature balancing, so you can sleep better together.
Can it help keep me asleep?
Absolutely. It intelligently senses your movements and automatically adjusts to keep you both effortlessly comfortable.
Can it help with snoring?
I've never heard snoring.
Exactly.
No problem. And done.
So you can really promise better sleep?
Not promise, prove. It's our weekend special. Save up to $1,000 on the new Sleep Number 360 smart bed and adjustable base. Plus 0% interest for 48 months. Ends Monday.
We're Carvana, the company who invented car vending machines and buying a car 100% online. Now we've created a brand new way for you to sell your car. Whether it's a year old or a few years old, we want to buy your car. So go to Carvana and enter your license plate, answer a few questions, and our techno wizardry calculates your car's value and gives you a real offer in seconds. When you're ready, we'll come to you, pay you on the spot, and pick up your car. That's it. So ditch the old way of selling your car and say hello to the new way at Carvana.
As you get older, are you worried about staying sharp and alert? ForeBrain from the Harvard-educated experts at Force Factor contains key ingredients to help boost memory, learning, clarity, focus, and more. Rush to Walmart and find ForeBrain, our #1 brain booster in the vitamin aisle. Are you sick and tired of looking and feeling heavy? ProbioSlim promotes healthy digestion and helps you lose weight. Patented probiotics ease constipation, gas, and bloating, while powerful EGCG burns fat and calories. Unleash your potential with ProbioSlim, the #1 probiotic fat burner at Walmart.
For many people, October means pumpkin spice lattes and Halloween. But did you know it's also National Animal Safety and Protection Month and, Pete, Pet Wellness Month?
Who knew?
No, I did not.
I didn't know pets needed wellness.
Here with some gear to keep our four-legged
They
friends
do.
happy and healthy, DIY expert Chip Wade. All right, Chip, we didn't know, but now we do. So tell us how to take care of these guys.
Absolutely. With the weather coming in a little bit cooler, we're spending more time inside, which means pet safety is actually really important, especially pet fire safety. Now, about 1,000 home fires a month are actually started by our family pets, and about 500,000 pets suffer from smoke inhalation annually. So it's definitely something we need to consider. For pet owners, 36% of them actually don't know or don't actually have a carbon monoxide alarm. Now, you should install these all throughout the house, but what's most important is knowing when and how to replace them. You might not know that a smoke alarm actually needs to be replaced 10 years after its manufacture date. They don't last forever, even if the battery is good. Now, a quick way to figure that out is looking at the back. The manufacturing date. Again, these last about 10 years. Carbon monoxide alarms last about 7 to 10 years. I like to actually write my date of install on the side so it's really easy and no mistakes are made. You can find out more about this at kidda.com/pet safety. Now, I love smart devices. This is the Fi Smart Collar. This is the coolest smart collar I could find. It goes right on your dog. What's awesome is you can do geofencing to keep them inside the yard. You can tell if they get away and you need to go look for them. But they even have cool features like monitoring them while they're on with a dog walker, or even while you're on vacation. even tracking your steps is super, super fun for your dog. Keeps them in shape. That makes us all happy. All right, next up, I'm going to show you guys how to keep our pets clean and us really happy. This is the Waterpik Pet Wand Pro. Now, notice we have the water comb technology. The water comb on the Pet Wand Pro actually penetrates deep into the fur of some of our pets that have that really thick fur. So it's really important. It comes with an 8-foot hose. It has all the shower connections, even a hose connection for outside. You can see Bentley loves it. Mara and Ann Elizabeth are in there getting the job done. All right, next up, we have got the Hoover Smart Wash Pet Complete Carpet Cleaning System. Most people don't realize you need to be cleaning your carpets 3 to 4 times every single year. A lot of people don't do that. They just vacuum and think it's all good. The Smart Wash Pet Complete is easy like a vacuum, but you push it forward and it cleans, you pull it back and it sucks up all that stuff and dries. Now the handle actually comes out really easily. It's got the spot chaser so you can clean up all those little messes. Super awesome. And Hoover has all of the different stuff as well. This is actually the Paws and Claws cleaning solution. It's great for messes, odors, all that type of stuff. This is all available on Hoover.com. This runs for $2.99. If you're interested in the Pet Wand Pro, that's available on Amazon for just $39, which is amazing. We've got all of this on WadeWorksCreative.com. Check it out. We've got the blog up with all the links in case you didn't write it down. But let's take care of our pets. Let's keep them safe. Have a great day.
Wade Works Creative. My cats keep running in the neighbor's yard. Is there a shock collar for cats to keep them in your yard? Is that okay?
Have him as trained as he does his dogs.
That's what?
His dogs are
It's
good.
a very dog biased segment. It's okay. Chip, let me know. Email, is there a cat collar? All right, Wade, Chip, thank you very much. Coming up, while the media largely avoids covering the explosive Hunter Biden report, one reporter finally asked Joe about it. His response, top of the hour.
You may know Mount Rushmore. But that's only the beginning of South Dakota's beauty. Mountain carvings and breathtaking landscapes are just some of what's waiting to be discovered. When the time is right for you, our great places are open for adventure. I'm Governor Kristi Noem. Now more than ever, those great places can bring us together. And I can promise you, it'll be a vacation to remember. To learn how to explore South Dakota safely, visit our website.
A live bookkeeper is helping customize QuickBooks for me.
Okay, you're all set up.
Thanks. That was my business key. This one's casual.
Get set up right with a live bookkeeper with Intuit QuickBooks.
Balance of Nature's fruit and veggie capsules contain 100% vine-ripened fruits and vegetables, tested pure with no pesticides, fillers, or additives of any kind, and are the most effective whole food supplements on the market today. You might ask yourself, how can the daily recommended servings of fruits and vegetables fit into 6 vegetarian capsules? Fruits and vegetables are on average 85% water. Balance of Nature uses cold vacuum technology to remove the water, leaving only the whole food. We don't use any heat, air, or light drying methods that damage nutrients. Our cold vacuum technology maintains 99.9% of the fresh fruits and vegetables' original nutritional value. Think about it. Along with diet and exercise, Mother Nature provides fruits and vegetables to help us maintain good health. Right now, Balance of Nature is offering free shipping and 35% off on any new preferred order. Call or go online to get started today and use discount code Fox News.
10 years ago, we founded Loan Depot because we were confident we could deliver the American dream of home ownership to individuals and families across the nation. There were only about 50 of us when we began.
But we were inspired every day to do our best for customers just like you.
And because of customers just like you, we've now grown to become one of the largest mortgage lenders in the nation.
Serving more than 27,000 customers a month.
Lowering payments, providing jobs, and investing in neighborhoods and communities nationwide.
The reason that we've grown from 50 founding employees with a dream to now team members 8,000 strong
is because we have never stopped believing in you. We know how important it is that everyone has opportunity.
We know what it means to put down roots and bring dreams to life.
At Loan Depot, we know
home means everything.
Energy levels drop with age, and spending too much time indoors can make you even more sluggish. Help recharge your natural batteries with ageless male Core Energy. Find Core Energy at all major retailers like Walmart and be the man you want to be.
You gotta go deep, away on back, cross a few creeks, in a couple little shacks.
Rascal Flatts, that's some good stuff. Welcome, everyone, to the 8 a.m. hour of Fox and Friends Weekend here with Will Kane, Pete Hegseth, bringing you the best in news and fun. Plus, we had some fun dogs on last hour, and that made my life. Pete, I don't know about yours, but I'm feeling happier since I've seen them.
Pete's a cat guy. There's not much we can do about that. He may be on savior at this point, but it's a dog show. It's a dog country, truthfully.
Free country. Except for my cats, which should not be allowed to roam free. They're indoor, outdoor, and they're starting to go into the neighbors' lawns. And I don't know how to control that. And I'd like to know whether a shock collar is okay for cats. Just
Yes.
a little zzz, zzz.
No. The answer is yes.
The answer is yes,
Pete,
to keep them on my property so as
inhumane.
not to bite.
No.
It's totally
You
fine.
cannot. This is how you do it, Pete. Here, kitty, kitty. Here, kitty, kitty. No shock collar.
It doesn't work. The kitty kitty here doesn't always work.
You're not
All
doing
right,
it right.
we'll find out about that and bring it to you. But we do have big news this morning. President Trump hitting the campaign trail in Florida and Georgia. The president slamming the Bidens, calling them an organized crime family. Lucas Tomlinson joins us live from Washington with more as Fox obtains more Hunter Biden emails. Lucas, good morning.
Good morning, guys. The FBI is now investigating to see if Russia's behind these emails. As you mentioned yesterday, President Trump hitting the campaign trail in Florida and Georgia.
I'll bet you Hunter is a middleman. He's collecting. He's like a vacuum cleaner. He follows his father around collecting. Hunter made no money until his father became vice president. I'll tell you what, it's an organized crime family as far as I'm concerned.
In 2014, Hunter Biden was struggling with a crack addiction and needed the income provided by the Ukrainian energy company Burisma, hoping to use his influence as the vice president's son. In a trove of emails, Rudy Giuliani says he obtained from an abandoned laptop computer at a repair shop in Delaware, given to him by the blind owner. One email says a Burisma advisor allegedly told Hunter Biden, quote, "We urgently need your advice on how you could use your influence to convey a message, signal, etc., to stop what we consider to be politically motivated actions." In a tweet, Congressman Lee Zeldin says the DOJ FBI needs to open a criminal investigation into the Biden family's global pay-to-play operation. And President Trump will be hitting the campaign trail today, going to Michigan and Wisconsin, key battleground states that he narrowly won by a razor-thin margin in 2016 that he needs to win again this year if he hopes to repeat his upset in the next few weeks. Guys?
All right, Lucas, thank you so much. There's two important angles to this story. Are the allegations true? Many of them now have been authenticated, where their emails originate from and how the laptop ended up at a shop. Both of those details seem to have been authenticated. The second is this important and accurate information that you should have access to when factoring in who you might vote for? Well, according to many in the media, the answer is no. You should not be hearing these details. You should not be reading these stories. You should not devote any minutes of coverage to these Hunter Biden stories. This is what went down on many mainstream media outlets over the past several days. ABC, 0 minutes of coverage. CNN, 0 minutes of coverage. NBC, 45 seconds of coverage. CBS and MSNBC both stretched their legs into a little over 4 minutes of coverage in a 92-hour period. Again, is potential influence peddling important to how you decide this country will be run? But more importantly, perhaps, should you even be allowed to factor that into your decision-making, Jedediah?
Yeah, I don't even know what world we're living in anymore that you can't ask a question. A story like this comes out, your gut reaction should be, all right, let's figure out if it's true. Let's dig in, and instead of let's push it to the side, hope it goes away, or let's ignore it, or frankly, let's believe everything in it in second one. So there's just a lack of interest that's really concerning in terms of getting to the bottom of the story. It's an election season. I get it. It's close. Everyone wants to stay in their political lane, but it does a huge disservice to the voters when you don't ask the important questions. And I did notice some journalists even took heat. They were just retweeting the story itself without commentary, and they took heat for even doing that on social media, which is absolutely absurd. If you go directly to Joe Biden, though, it's interesting what he had to say. He was asked about this story in particular on Friday, and this was his response.
Mr. Biden, what is your response to the New York Post story about
I know you'd ask it. I have no response. It's another smear campaign. It's right up your alley. They're the questions you always ask.
I have no response because I don't have to ask because they won't press me on it, and I know they're my friends. And it's another smear campaign, which won't be proven by the so-called mainstream networks because they won't cover it. Here's what we know. Hunter Biden dropped off a laptop. The contract he signed said 90 days later it's not his property anymore. The guy who had it at the shop turned it into the FBI and made a copy and has it. We also know that these emails have been confirmed by people who received them as well as valid. Will, you mentioned the two questions, and they're right. I'd add a third. What did Joe Biden know? How involved was he? These emails refer to, I got to get 10% to Pops or 50% to Pops. In multiple emails, he's referring to his father, clearly using his father's leverage to get the access and the money. Joe Biden said he didn't know anything about it. Was this guy just running around like a vacuum cleaner, sucking up the fumes of his father's vice presidency? Or did Joe Biden know exactly what Hunter Biden was doing, or at least enough tacit knowledge to know that, hey, he's making some shady deals, and I know that if he asks for a meeting, I should probably take it, and we'll call it informal, and just the meeting itself is enough to solidify more money for Hunter, and maybe some money shows up in my account. I don't know. But those are the types of questions you would want to be asked of someone who wants to be the leader of the free world, staring down Ukraine, staring down the communist Chinese. That's what the New York Post put out there. That's what they laid out. And it wasn't hacked material. This guy got the material through the laptop that was forfeited by Hunter Biden. It's all excuses to suppress it. I believe we have the cover of the New York Post this morning. It says, "Twit for tat." And what has happened to the New York Post now is their Twitter feed has been suppressed until they delete their own reporting. I can't think of anything more dangerous than a social media company blocking a publisher, the fourth largest newspaper in America, saying you can't tweet anymore on your own reporting until you delete your own tweets of your own reporting. It's unbelievable. So, well, I think that's why when you look at these tech executives testifying, will we get answers? I don't know.
Joe Biden's role in this scandal is obviously center to the entire issue. When I bring up two scandals, when I break it down into two different areas, what I'm talking about is this. The actual content of the scandal, of potential influence peddling, is one scandal. What might be the bigger scandal is the suppression of information from the American voter, from the American consumer. Twitter, Facebook, social media companies not even allowing you to know about this story might be the biggest scandal involved, because it means we don't get full information on our decision-making in this country. The Republican National Committee has now filed an FEC complaint against those big tech CEOs. This is what they said. As of this filing, Twitter's engaged in arguably the most brazen and unprecedented act of media suppression in the country's history, and it's doing so for the clear purpose of supporting the Biden campaign. Democrat media consultants can only dream of such abilities through its ad hoc partisan oppression of media critical of Biden. Twitter's making an illegal, corporate, in-kind contribution as it provides unheard-of media services for Joe Biden's campaign. An electorate, Jedediah, has to be informed. We're watching information suppressed.
Yeah, it's not their job to decide what we should and shouldn't see. Sometimes it seems arbitrary, and sometimes it seems highly agenda-driven. And it's getting very hard to tell, guys, you know, what deserves being flagged. Oh, if it's this type of source, it's no good. If it's that type of source, it's okay. And it seems to always fall on one side, where you want that information suppressed when it comes to one political side of the aisle and issues that may hurt them and not the other. So this is deeply disturbing, especially because social media emerged as as a vehicle to go straight to the people, right? Those stories were supposed to bypass, you know, many mainstream media outlets, and it was supposed to go straight to the people where you get a lot of your news these days. Many people don't even turn the TV on anymore. They pick this up. That's just a hard reality. And they scroll through, and that's how they get their information, or lack thereof. That's the problem. Senator Marsha Blackburn was on earlier. She weighed in on Section 230, on big tech censoring, and more. Listen to what she had to say.
What we are looking at is Section 230 and the reforms that are going to be necessary for Section 230. Now, this deals with that liability protection shield that big tech has been hiding behind and censoring, using to censor conservatives, censor many of our entertainers. And this is one of the things that our legislation, the Online Freedom and Viewpoint Diversity Act, which Chairman Wicker and Chairman Graham have each joined me in this legislation. What we would do is turn that shield back into something that is transparent by saying, here is when you can use it, here is when you cannot use it.
We know exactly what this is. It's utterly predictable. We remember the after action from 2016. A lot of these tech companies were browbeat for allowing Donald Trump, allowing Republicans to actually be a part of the conversation, and they effectively said never again. And when we showed the graphic last hour of 99% of the donations given by Twitter employees are to Democrats, they're on hyperdrive to suppress anything that would help, anything that would hurt Joe or anything that would help Donald Trump. But this past week, in addition to the conversation about the presidential election, of course, Amy Coney Barrett did a fantastic job testifying, and they really had nothing to bring at her. But what became part of the conversation was Senator Feinstein, who's the ranking member. The chairman is Lindsey Graham. And this exchange that they had at the committee hearing where they hugged, showed some collegiality, and the left is going after Dianne Feinstein for befriending Lindsey Graham and not going hard enough on Amy Coney Barrett. Will, we talk about cancel culture all the time. How quickly it can happen to someone who's been a part of the Democrat establishment forever, now she's not good enough.
There is no protection from cancel culture.
No.
There is no one who is safe from woke political correctness. There is no party that you can belong to. You must parrot ideas, or we're going to rename the schools that have been named after you. That's the current movement in San Francisco right now, to rename Dianne Feinstein elementary schools. Fall in line. That's all you need to that's all you need to understand. Fall in line is the message over and over.
Yeah, it's parrot the line that we accept, that we want you to parrot, or be excommunicated, so to speak. And it's really disturbing. If that's the state of affairs in 2020 when it comes to politicians, when it comes to politics, we're all in trouble, because that means that no one can have a nuanced thought. No one can deviate ever. That real debate and discussion is not welcome anymore in American politics. That's the whole purpose of American politics, is to figure stuff out. And we're not going to, the same way we do on this show every day. We figure stuff out. We talk to each other. We go back and forth. Sometimes we agree. Sometimes we disagree. We count on lawmakers to do that, and they're responsible for policy. So it's even more imperative that they be able to sit across a table and hear each other out. That should be celebrated, not condemned.
Yeah, and let's remember, the only reason the hearings this week were civil is because Amy Coney Barrett is a bona fide Boy Scout who they had nothing on. And if they thought they had anything, they would have made it about that. Instead, she just held up her empty notepad and said, I don't need notes, you do. Next. All right, turning now to your headlines, we got a few additional this morning. A Kansas City police officer is in critical condition after being shot in the line of duty. Officials say he came under fire while responding to a call from a man who said he was being threatened with a gun. Another man was shot. He's in serious condition. The suspected gunman barricaded himself inside a home for several hours before surrendering to police. And a federal judge rules 5 men accused of plotting to kidnap Michigan's governor can go to trial. The judge says there's enough evidence to try the suspects. Their cases will now go to a grand jury who will decide whether to indict them. They could face life in prison if convicted. At least 13 men are arrested in connection to the foiled plot. And a rallying crowd gives a standing ovation to a 100-year-old veteran after President Trump gives him a shout-out.
100-year-old veteran right here. Wow.
That's an awesome moment. Happened at the president's rally in Florida, and those are your headlines. World War II vets. Recognize them every chance you get.
Really cool. Still ahead, Joe Biden answering questions from voters at this week's town hall, but it turns out those voters have major ties to Democrats. One even wrote speeches for Obama. Former Clinton strategist Mark Penn on the growing backlash next.
Do you feel like the way you clean your ear